Bombs aren't falling on Tigray, but its people are hungry. About 350,000 in the conflict-torn Ethiopian region are facing catastrophic food shortages. That's according to the United Nations. And outside the US State Department in Washington, Tigrayan activists gathered to protest against the Ethiopian government, which has sent a delegation to the US capital amid increasing international condemnation. This was the scene. The demonstrators here, including Orthodox priests and many with family in Tigray, accuse Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed of using hunger as a weapon in his campaign against a political and military foe, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, which formerly led the central government.
It's a humanitarian crisis at this point. It's not a political issue as far as I'm concerned, because when you start killing civilians, it's no longer politics. It is a human right. There's no reason to kill young kids. I've lost cousins that I'm aware of. Obviously, my uncles are farmers. They're at risk of starvation because of the effort to make sure the farmers are not farming. They've been looted, so we're all at risk.
We need to stop the genocide, stop the war, stop the harvesting. And the church is destroyed and loot for the church historical materials.
Fighting broke out in the northern region in November last year, with troops from neighbouring Eritrea entering the conflict in support of the Ethiopian government. The violence has killed thousands of civilians and forced more than 2 million from their homes. Many more are in need of assistance.
I mean, to be very honest, people are at a starvation level with excess mortality, wasting a very high level of wasting for children, and basically not be able to access to enough food to eat.
But the Ethiopian government has rejected claims it's weaponizing food and insisted aid is being delivered to those in need.
Food being used as a weapon of war. We have affirmed even last week that this is not the heartbeat of this administration. It's a catchy phrase, it's a catchy word to be able to insinuate that there's challenges, but the administration would not be using. In fact, the figures that have been stated so far and the interventions that have been undertaken with regards to the federal government intervening with humanitarian assistance do not corroborate this.
Yet pressure has continued to grow. Stronger language is being used in the US Capitol. For the first time, the word genocide was used in the US House Foreign Affairs Committee in a hearing with the US Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield.
As the fighting continues, there is starvation and systematic rape are being used as a weapon of war. And comments from Administrator Power that Ethiopia is, quote, destroying the reproductive health of Tigrayans really calls into question whether conditions amount to a genocide under the 1948 Genocide Convention.
Back in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's capital, no sign of conflict, as the country's prime minister campaigns for long-delayed nationwide elections. But in the north, famine conditions remain, for numbers the UN says are the highest since the Somalia famine of 2011.